Welcome back. Actress and activist Cynthia Nixon and New York Governor Andrew Cuomo are set to face off in a debate Wednesday night. The two Democratic New York gubernatorial candidates will go head-to-head at Hofstra University. Nixon is expected to challenge Governor Cuomo's progressive bona fides as Cuomo defends the seat he's held for nearly 8 years. For more on this, I want to bring in Jon Campbell. He is the Albany reporter for the USA Today network, and as you might imagine, he joins us from Albany, New York. Jon, we know that this debate could potentially focus on transit issues in New York and perhaps who might be the more progressive candidate. Where do both Governor Cuomo and Cynthia Nixon sit at the moment when it comes to those issues?
Well, Governor Cuomo is way ahead in the polls, so he doesn't really have he has a lot to lose in this debate and doesn't have much to gain. So I anticipate that he'll try to bolster his progressive credentials. He's going to talk about how he helped legalize same-sex marriage at a time where it wasn't legal across the state, and bolster any number of issues in terms of criminal justice that he's pushed. Cynthia Nixon almost certainly is going to try to position herself as the more progressive candidate. She has run on Cuomo's left from the beginning. She says that he's not progressive enough and has gone as far to say that he governs as a Republican. So there's definitely going to be some debate there over who's the more progressive candidate. They're making a case to a liberal Democratic primary electorate. So they're definitely each going to try to lay out their progressive credentials and who has it more so. That being said, Cynthia Nixon, she's trailing in the polls. She also is going to certainly have to come out swinging against the governor. And one area where she almost certainly is going to try to make an impact is the MTA and the transportation, public transportation issues in New York City. The subways have deteriorated in recent years. It's a major issue in New York City where many Democratic primary voters are. And it's one that I almost certainly Cynthia Nixon will try to use against the governor.
And it's fascinating to see these two go toe-to-toe. I mean, Governor Cuomo, of course, is from a famous New York political family. Cynthia Nixon, really a political unknown, but famous for her acting work. Even getting this debate, I guess, is a win for her. I've seen some of her ads and interviews where she talks about taking public transportation and allowing her kids to go to New York's public schools. But how have New Yorkers in general responded so far to Nixon's bid here for the governor's seat?
Well, the polls have shown that they haven't responded very well. The most recent poll came in late July. It showed Governor Cuomo up by 31 points, which is a really, really significant margin. We haven't had one in the month since, which is why this is such a big opportunity for Cynthia Nixon. Like you said, it is a victory in itself that she did get a debate. Zephyr Teachout ran against Governor Cuomo in 2014 as a Democrat in a Democratic primary. She did not get a debate from the governor. Cynthia Nixon has a bit of a higher profile. It would have been harder for the governor to avoid a debate here, which is why he's sitting down to do it tomorrow.
One thing that has taken a bit of center stage as far as the focus for this debate is the temperature in the room. Optics are always a part of these debates. Both candidates want to appear strong and in control. However, Cynthia Nixon has reportedly asked for the temperature of the debate hall to be raised to 76 degrees. We know Governor Cuomo likes his environments chilly. Is this a bit of a distraction, or does this say something actually tangible about where the two stand on issues? Is this about sexism? What's the deal here?
Well, the two sides have been fighting over debate conditions for a few weeks now. Cynthia Nixon's camp has accused CBS 2 of negotiating kind of behind the scenes with Governor Cuomo to get the conditions that he wants, including the fact that they're both going to be seated tomorrow. The two candidates are going to be seated. That's not something you normally see in a debate. Cynthia Nixon wanted to be standing. She lost out on that. And the debate over the temperature in the room, the actual temperature, not the metaphorical temperature in the room, that's something the governor for years has preferred his rooms ice cold. I've been in many of the rooms where he's given speeches, and they are chilly. So Cynthia Nixon's campaign, has made a plea to they shot for 76 degrees in the room. They want a room which is pretty toasty. I suspect that maybe they made that request hoping to meet somewhere in the middle. But that one really is about temperature. That one, the governor really, really likes cold rooms, and that is something that Cynthia Nixon's camp is fighting on.
Can I suggest a 73 degrees? It's kind of somewhere in the middle between ice cold and too warm. Perhaps, you know, there's a bit of negotiation that can take place there. Quickly, I want to ask you, since Cynthia Nixon is considered the underdog here, she's way behind in the polls. Governor Cuomo did take heat recently when he said America was never that great. He went on to correct his remarks, but Republicans in the Trump administration really pounced on that. Have those comments put a real dent in his campaign?
Well, they've certainly, it was certainly a slip up, and it is certainly something where national Republicans and the Fox Newses and all sorts of conservative outlets have really latched on and hammered Governor Cuomo for that. That being said, you know, it hasn't really latched on as much to the Democratic primary audience. So I'm not sure how much it hurts him with the Democratic primary right now, but it will certainly come back should he get through the primary to get onto the general election. His Republican opponent, Mark Molinaro, has latched onto that and will certainly make it a major issue heading into November should Andrew Cuomo get into the general election. And should Andrew Cuomo run for president in 2020, as many believe he wants to, that will be a central attack point for Republicans against it.
Well, we appreciate your insight, and we'll be focused on this debate tomorrow. Jon Campbell, may your office temperature always be comfortable. Thanks for your time.
and yours as well. Thank you.